right, ladies and gentlemen, it is great to have you back watching LOBE podcast. We've been away for a while, and we have some new members here, and we've lost Ryan. Ryan is busy. He's got a new kid. The whole shindig he's got going on. Life is being thrown at him nonstop. So we will be missing Ryan out of this episode, but I am pleased to announce that we have Kirk today. Go ahead and say hi, Kirk.
Hi, Kirk.
All right. Kirk's pretty funny here. We got Leroy. Go ahead and say hi, Leroy.
Hey, everybody.
All right. Okay. Today's topic, we're going to get right down dirty for you. Week 1 recap. As you can see on the screen right below the LOBE podcast logo that we got at the top left, some graphic artist created that for us. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you to them. Week 1 recap. We got Lions and Chiefs. That was a great game. I watched it. It's awesome to see the Lions back. Fantasy recap on it. For me, some takeaways. We saw the running game. I didn't realize Montgomery was going to get 21 carries. And St. Brown was St. Brown, and I'm hoping to see more out of him this week. I hope he's getting more targets. And then Patrick Mahomes is him. He literally threw the greatest passes that never got caught. And we all know what happened there.
I forgot all about that.
Oh, it was awful. Yeah. One of the worst performances by a wide receiver ever, maybe next to T. Higgins this week. And it's not even.
Are they going to trade for Mike Evans?
Oh, I
mean,
know.
They need wide receiver help.
Oh my God, they need somebody to come save them. And I was looking at Randy Moss. Had an interview. He said that he could go ahead and if he was starting in a 17-week game, play 20 to 30 snaps a game or something like that. And I was like, wow. And then they asked him how many touchdowns he'd get that season. Oh, and he said easy 12. Yeah, Randy Moss is ready to come out of retirement. They need to hit him up. Patrick Mahomes and Randy Moss. It'd be game over. All right. all jokes aside, you guys got any takeaways from this game? Any kind of specific takeaways that you took out of the Lions and Chiefs?
Gosh, I feel like that was so long ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
The Lions running game looks really, really good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. And Gibbs actually looks really good. We don't have his stats up on here, but yeah. Gibbs as a pass catcher and as a rusher was looking really good. Yeah, Lions O-line is the takeaway, and the wide receiver, the wide receiver Kadarius Toney fallen very short, lost that game for the Chiefs.
I don't think Goff is going to have to carry this Lions team. I mean, I really think they can lean on the running game all year.
Yeah, they're stacked. All right. So I think that's kind of what we got out of that. Like Kirk said, it's been a while. We just kind of wanted to recap it. This is, we already had the Thursday night game. We're taking a look at this on a Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So when we upload this, it'll probably be past 7. So some of you guys might not see this until week 2's over with. But anyway, we're going to get through this really quick. On the recap, Panthers and Falcons. Any big takeaways here? Let's go ahead, Kirk. Did you have any?
I didn't watch that game at all.
Yeah,
so I don't even know if anyone else watched any of these games. Like,
I watched highlights.
Yeah, I got I got a decent amount of highlights out of these games, and seeing the stats right there, we can kind of run through with it. The Panthers.
I know Bryce Young. I have him on. I have him in Dynasty. No, I have him in seasonal. Yeah, he's my backup, and I didn't play him. Or did I have him as my flex?
Take a look.
I'm trying to
go
back to
here. Let's go ahead and see where Mr. Kirk is.
Because I feel like he got me a few points, quite a few points. But I can't remember if I had him sitting or if I had him in.
Well, let's take a look. He got 7 points last week, so hopefully you didn't start him.
Yeah, maybe. So there's another league I'm in, and QBs are ridiculous. So I think I had it uh, confused because I think in one league he got me like 27 points, but it was like a
Oh my gosh.
yeah. The
Dang.
league is weird, like with the QB scoring.
Weird. That's really weird. Um,
So
yeah,
yeah,
no
this is what
way that
happens when
performance should suggest 27 fantasy points,
yeah
right,
this is what
Leroy?
happens
Damn.
when I'm in too many leagues.
Te- Teams probably be scoring over 300 points.
Phew. I mean, we have 200 as like the high. If you go over
Hmm.
200, you're having like a top 10 performance of like, you know, LOBE career, which is almost 15 years now.
Yeah, so in this one, the league right now, Bryce Young is projected for 30 points.
Oh, jeez. And
And
sleeper
then
in
I
our
also have
league, he's probably not suggested that much.
no, he's like
Yeah.
13 or something. But then I also have Goff in the same league, and he's projected at like 41. So yeah, this league that I'm talking about is, you know, for some reason they have QBs scoring a lot more.
Yeah, some guys really
Pretty
like their
wild.
QBs. All right, let's move on. Miles Sanders. A takeaway from here is they want to get him some good touches, but I think they had this other guy getting a decent amount. Yeah, it was Chuba,
Chuba.
Chuba, and he was killing it. Went ahead for 6.7 yards average. Fantasy players, we need to take a look at your average yards per carry, and I know it's situational a lot of times, but if there's a backup that's just completely clear and ahead with the same O line, just dominating 2 yards a carry more than the other back, they need to be giving that guy some more carries. We're talking Warren. We're talking, all these backs that are like, you probably should be taking it. Tony was that last year, so you want to look at for that. Um, so keep an eye on it.
Chubbard has his downside though.
What?
He doesn't have the greatest vision. He has trouble holding onto the ball.
He's not much of a pass catcher, is he?
No, I don't believe he is.
Yeah. So there's
So
that. I mean, he caught 2 balls, and it looks like Miles went ahead and got 4. What we're going to be looking at in the Panthers this year is not the passing game. We're going to be looking at the receiving,
yeah, I
or
think
the
it's that
rushing. I
for
mean,
both of those teams, really.
yeah.
I
Same with the
mean,
Falcons. That's what you're going to be looking at the backs. Just look at the backs. You want to own the backups, in my opinion. You want to own those guys. So maybe take a flyer on Chuba. Miles gets hurt every year. Um, Robinson, a very fun, sexy pick. Algier might be the touchdown scorer, the rusher, and Bajan might be that third down back and the doing the receiving on the flats and out the backfield. Maybe
I
in
think he's
better
slowly
routes.
gonna take over like Gibbs.
Yeah, I'd like to see Gibbs getting more touches this year, or this next game. I mean, let's go ahead and move on to Texans versus Ravens. Any big takeaways from either one of you guys besides Lamar Jackson throwing a fucking dud?
Hmm.
Yes, CJ Stroud doesn't look that bad. He looks pretty good for a rookie.
They gave him a significant amount of passing attempts, which indicates maybe he knows the offense a little bit better than the other rookies that didn't get as many attempts. Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I was blown away at the use of Damian Pierce and the other back. I was considering Damian Pierce a full blown, uh, all down back, but I guess either Damian Pierce wasn't fully healthy for this game because he didn't look himself, or Devin Singletary is going to be a pain in fantasy football. Damian Pierce owners for a while. Well, it looked pretty bad. 11 rushes versus 7, not a good ratio for you. Um, Pierce, on the other hand, did average a lot more per carry, so that's a big plus for you Damian Pierce owners, Kirk. And then we take a look at the receiving here. Since this is going to be a passing team, it looks like they went ahead and threw the ball a lot. They were down a lot, so they did ask a lot from Stroud. It might be interesting to take a look at how Nico was the top wide receiver there, averaging 13.3 on six receptions, 11 targets, and 10 targets for Robert Woods. These two wide receivers are people you should have your eyes on as we go through here. Let's move along to the next one. The Ravens. Should we take anything out of the Ravens? In that? Maybe they aren't as good as we thought they were.
They scored a lot of points for looking so bad.
Yes, right? You know, they didn't really want to throw the ball, and this is supposed to be Lamar's offense. He said he wants to get 6,000 yards. I mean, he ain't no Dan Marino. We know that. Not happening. Dan Marino will get 6,000 this day and age, not Lamar Jackson. All right, let's keep that straight. All you Dolphin fans out there, yes, can cheer with me. All right, Bengals versus Browns. Any big takeaways here from either one of you guys besides the fact that Joe Burrow is a worst quarterback in the league?
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I mean, I watched some highlights and just from you guys sounded all pissed off, like in the Discord chats and stuff.
I bet everybody, everyone's getting upset. Joe Burrow doesn't look right. The Browns gave it to him, but if anybody really watched that game, Watson and Burrow had a horrible day to be passing in. And Burrow looked like garbage because he got hit in the thumb. And all you fantasy owners that own Burrow, Chase, and T. Higgins need to listen up. Burrow's thumb got hurt in that game, from what I got heard. I don't know how bad it is, but if Watson can throw for 154 and Burrow is only able to throw for 82 in the same conditions, we know Burrow is a better passer. But what? I mean, you should be worried because after he got hit in that thumb, they're saying he'd never made a good throw after that. So that's maybe something to look at. Burrow was maybe trying to tough it out. In reality, there's a bigger issue.
Yeah, I don't even think he was 100% coming into week one.
Ooh.
I think they probably should have sat him for week one.
Damn.
But yeah, now he's got another injury piled on, and
ooh, that's rough for the Bengals season. It's a team that everyone's excited about, but can you really be excited after that game? Ooh, that's rough to watch. To takeaways, let's go ahead with the Browns in those conditions, putting up 24 points. Nick Chubb, being the fucking dominant rusher he is, went ahead and led the team in receiving and in rushing, 127 yards total. Let's move on. And Deshaun Watson, you know what? For any of you guys that are Deshaun Watson truthers out there, he did better than Burrow in the same conditions. A lot better. Put up 20 fantasy points in most leagues.
Yeah, Watson has one of the best running backs in the game.
Oh, easily one
when
of the
you
best.
Got that kind of weapon.
Lines. One of the best offensive lines too. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you play in fantasy. Look at the offensive line. That's going to be a big indicator of the total yards for the offense. In fact, one of the main things for offensive lines is, we want to hit 1,000-yard rushing this year, 2,000-yard rushing this year, be able to pass for so many yards because that's a big thing for the offensive line. That's an indicator of an offensive line doing its job well, is the production out of the offense. You can take a look at this Colts versus Jaguars. That game was something else. I didn't get to watch it. I saw a lot of highlights. I really like to watch the Calvin Ridley catches. The dude looks back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Calvin Ridley is legit.
Deshaun Jackson, is that his name? What's his name for the Colts?
Did we lose Kirk?
No, I'm here.
Deion
Oh,
Jackson.
okay.
That's his name. He looked god awful. I saw only maybe the highlight of his rushes, that whatever they wanted to show, and it was so bad. Oh. But highlight there is Anthony Richardson. And Richardson looked pretty good on 24 attempts out of 37. The O-line didn't look too bad. He did come out late in the game. I was kind of nervous for all the Anthony Richardson owners. The dude looks good. Michael Pittman, 11 targets, 8 receptions. That's pretty impressive. Might be a guy to keep your eye on in this offense if they're going to really try to get it to him. Another guy is Josh Downs. Will he actually earn that target hog role that he earned in college? Yes, interesting. Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence. Dude was doing great. QBR of 103.8. One of the best in the leagues. With a terrible offensive line, I was told. Travis Etienne averaging 4.3 yards with the bad offensive line. Again, this team, they're looking good. Calvin Ridley, 8 on 11 targets, 101, 12.6 per average. Zay Jones, 7 targets, maybe a guy to keep your eyes on. We would think Christian Kirk would move back up. Is that dude hurt? Anyone know?
No.
Okay, yeah, interesting there, and that's a takeaway. Christian Kirk was a number 1 last year. They're paying him to be a number 1, so let's see what happens with him. Is he going to fade away in a team that really tried to get the ball to Zay Jones instead of him? And even the running back got more targets. Or is he hurt? We don't know. All right, on to the next game.
That was the game. Was that the game that there's confusion on the field? That fumble, that Lawrence.
No, that was the Eagles and
the fumble
this
for the
this
touchdown?
last game.
This last game?
The Eagles and Vikings.
No, it was last week.
No, he's talking about some fumble. I didn't get to see all that whole game, so.
It was they thought it was an incomplete pass, so the thing is the Jaguars didn't pick up the ball and the Colts ran it back for a touchdown, I think. Something like that.
Oh wow.
I think it was that game. Yeah, there was like standing around, and then the Colts. I can't remember who they picked it up and just ran, and called it a touchdown. They like go back and review it, but I think that was that game.
All right.
So yeah, next game, Bucks and Vikings.
Yeah, Bucks and Vikings. Takeaway here for me, Kirk Cousins is, still slinging it, and hell, we saw week 2's Kirk Cousins. He looked incredible too. Taking a lot of hits, and there was a lot of fumbles on their end, but Kirk Cousins week 1 and 2 is looking like the guy there. People are saying the Jets need to go get him and all this shit. What are the Vikings going to do without Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
So, takeaways here, for me at least, is they're really trying to get the ball to their running back in Tampa Bay, Rachaad White. And then he didn't do well with it. Mike Evans, the guy, always. Will he get another 1,000-yard receiving? We hope. Should he get traded to Patty Mahomes' team? Well, probably. Baker Mayfield looking pretty good. Hopefully he can keep it up for the sake of the Bucks. Jefferson's a guy there. Of course, we all know 130 or 150 on 9 receptions. It was probably a lot more in the box score for targets. Titans, Saints. I didn't watch this one. It's interesting that Carr got 300 yards passing. Big takeaway here is Olave is going 112
I think that's
yards.
impressive, but
He's got the quarterback whisperer on his side, right? Mr. Gruden.
I don't know about that.
No,
He's
that's
got a
what I
lot of
hear.
weapons.
That's what I hear. Gruden has been talking to David Carr all off season and all um, preseason and working out all the kinks. That Carr wanted him there. So I don't know if he's actually getting
I mean,
paid
what
over there or not.
with the weapons he has, he should be putting up about 500 yards.
That's crazy, Leroy. That's absolutely absurd.
I mean,
What's he got?
you
Rashid
still got
Shaheed?
Mike Evans, or not Mike Evans.
Rashid Shaheed?
Yeah, Shaheed is nasty.
Michael Thomas?
He's still got Michael Thomas.
Olave. At some point, they're gonna have
Didn't they bring
Kamara
Jimmy
back.
Graham back?
They're gonna have. Oh, dude,
They have Jamal Williams,
Yeah, they got a
the
lot.
leading touchdown scorer last year.
They got a lot out there, and that for you guys in the fantasy world, that should tell you Olave is the man. Olave is the man. Let's take a look at Mr. Thomas and what he did.
They have a lot of weapons, and Derek Carr can spread the ball around.
Damn, Jamal Williams, 18 rushes, 45 yards, 2.5 average. Oof, bad. What could we say with that?
He had a rough day.
That's a stinker.
Titans defense is tough.
He put up a stinker, boys. And then, we got Rashid Shaheed actually being a breakaway candidate this year. We should all consider him in free agency if he's still sitting out there. Maybe take a flyer on him. The kid looked good. 17.8 yard average on five receptions, 89 yards total. Outdoing Michael Thomas, 5 receptions for 61, 12.2 average on 8 targets. Rashid Shaheed was the third most thrown to receiver in that and ended up second most productive. Let's just think about that. He's also getting return yardage and all that junk. If that's worth something in your fantasy league, that is a special guy. In ours, it is. It's not a whole lot. I will be addressing that this off season to try to bump that up, because I think those receivers that are out there that are doing that job, and then they also are asked to do the receiving, the returning and the receiving, that you can get a little bit more for that returning yards. I think you should be able to get a little bit more. Steelers and Niners. Let's go ahead and talk about this one. Not much to talk about, really, besides the fact that the Niners have the best roster in the league. Kenny Pickett may not be that guy. Najee Harris.
Brock Purdy is amazing.
Najee Harris. Let's talk about that. Everybody wants to crown Najee Harris for another 1,000 to 1,500 yards or something like that, but he has been wildly unproductive. How unproductive?
I don't think that's the story here. I think the story should be about Calvin Austin and how he's going to play a major role on this team.
Okay, Calvin Austin with 6 targets, caught all of them, 37 yards, 6.2 average. What do you see here? Was he doing the return yardage?
Last year,
returns
he was a rookie last year and got hurt, missed the entire season. But from what I've heard this offseason, he's been working his butt off. And Kenny Pickett likes him. All the quarterbacks seem to love him.
All right, Calvin Austin's the story here, according to Leroy. All of you that are out there thinking about maybe picking him up and you want to go for a flyer, Leroy Jenkins, a 3-time LOBE champion, has stamped his approval on this guy. Think about that. All right, on to the next one.
Moving on.
Cardinals and was. I love that. All right, Washington Cardinals. All right, there wasn't a whole lot to take out of this one besides maybe the Cardinals are actually trying. It did look like they were going to win at one point, but they let it go. Obviously, they're trying to lose. They are trying to lose. They're doing their best to make it look like they're trying to win, to lose. The Dolphins did the same thing for Tua. I don't blame them. All right. Big takeaway here is Brian Robinson Jr. getting 19 carries. That's pretty good usage in fantasy. We are looking for talent and opportunities. Talent plus opportunities equals a great fantasy number, or whatever it's going to be. If it's a bad one, if you got bad talent with no opportunity, that's going to be a low score. Good way to look at it. Ertz, big deal here. Will Ertz be something for the Cardinals? Will he be fantasy relevant? Connor, actually kind of productive. The Dobbs guy, I didn't watch this game. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but these are just what I'm taking out of the numbers. Let's move on to the next one. That's not a whole lot to talk about with the Cardinals and the Washington Redskins, Commanders, whatever.
Hater.
They're probably going to be back to Redskins soon. We'll probably get demoted out of views for saying that word. Anyway, who cares? Packers, Bears. I've already said fuck a few times.
The Bears.
The Bears.
It's all about getting some episodes out there anyway. Packers came away with this one. 3 touchdowns on Jordan Love's day. Really, can we say the Packers own the Bears?
No, let's just maybe.
Oh, damn!
No, so
that's rough.
I mean, no, Love looked really good, but I think it's also just because he's playing a really bad team. So I will see how these next couple of games go and how he looks, I think.
Roschon Johnson. Tell me about Roschon Johnson. What do you think about Roschon? Roschon had 6 receptions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What about the running game? What was anything going on for the Bears? Nothing was going on for the Bears? There wasn't a whole lot going on.
Fields was
their D line looks decent. I'll say that. Other than that,
38
their secondary got torched.
Oof. Man, this was a stinker. Alright, let's get out of this game. This is a stinker for the Bears. I'm not even seeing a whole lot to take out of here besides the fact that Roschon Johnson led for receptions. Cole Kmet was second. Herbert was there. The passing game's non-existent besides the flats and... Oof, not a whole lot, boys. It's a lot of dink and dunking or Russian. Bears got to figure out their identity a little bit more. The Bears looks like they're able to rush the ball with Justin Fields. Roschon Johnson was the best rusher for them at 4 yards a carry at 5 of them apiece. Deontay Foreman really stunk it up, and Khalil Herbert stunk it up. They could be happy about Roschon Johnson's rushing and receiving. I don't really have a whole lot to take away here besides Justin Fields might not be the plan going forward for the Bears. And I don't want to say that too early because it's still early in his career. But if you don't figure out how to pass, how are they going to give him any more options? Like, in the future, contract style. Like,
yeah.
You gotta
I don't know. I'm ready to give him at least half the season before I even start talking about that.
I'm not saying pull the plug, but like, what point are you like? We got a good team here. We need to get the passer. We got to get someone to pass the ball. You know, and Clay, what is his name? Clayton? The Steeler wide receiver that came to the Bears, he was shown in a bunch of Twitter. Claypool.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot from him at all that game.
I guess there was
Yeah,
video of him.
I expected more from him, more from DJ Moore.
Yeah.
I wonder if he just like gave up because he realizes like I'm not getting the ball. I don't know. Maybe can half-ass it these plays. Remember when before Randy Moss got to New England, they traded him from the Raiders, and they said, oh, there was all these videos of him not even trying per play, and so they traded him to New England, and then all of a sudden he's the best wide receiver in the league, and he's trying, and he's, flying by safeties like it's nothing, catching over multiple DBs and linebackers on a consistent basis, and leading the whole league in receptions and touchdowns and receiving yards. So like
torching the Dolphins while he's doing it.
Yeah, it was beautiful to see someone's career get resurrected like that, but it's sad to say it happened to the New England Patriots. Oof, God. Let's get on with another game. This is depressing. Didn't say much about the Packers. I don't really like the Packers, but the fact that the offensive line is so dang good, we got to talk about them. When you give a quarterback a lot of time and you base your team on an offensive line, yeah, why not? Jordan Love's going to look great this year if he gets all that time in the pocket. The rushing to go with it, everybody averaged over 4 yards a carry. That's a rushing guy. Hell, even Jordan Love did. That's crazy. Romeo Dobbs, there's not a lot, right? Not a whole lot passing. This is Musgrave. Let's talk about Musgrave. Musgrave's probably the only receiver I'd want to own there. Maybe Jaden Reed. Aaron Jones is that guy. They weren't joking in this offseason when they were saying that dude has not missed a step. All right, let's go on to the next one. Raiders and Broncos. Any major takeaways here? I didn't watch this game. Didn't watch even any highlights of this game. Let's just say the Broncos aren't my cup of tea, and the Raiders have never been.
I think Garoppolo looked pretty good, didn't he?
Garoppolo. Yeah. Yeah. Stat-wise, it's looking decent. Let's go ahead and look into the box score. Get some major takeaways here. Jacoby Myers. Oh, yeah. All right. I do remember some from this game. I did watch some highlights. Jacoby Myers highlights. That's what it was. He got 2 tutties in this one. 9 receptions, 10 targets. That's pretty good. Maybe a guy to keep an eye on. Are they not going to favor Devontae Adams? Maybe they're trying to save him throughout this rest of the season. Josh Jacobs probably could have got used a little bit better. The rushing with him was 19 rushes, but man, maybe that says something about the Broncos' defense. He did get a decent amount of usage.
Yeah,
I didn't think he got one.
That Broncos defense is good.
Let's talk about Broncos offense. Mr. Primetime Russell Wilson, 27 completions on 34 attempts, only 177 yards, 2 tutties, and 108 quarterback rating. Not very great.
Very accurate. Playing smart.
What they do? Try to run the ball here? Looks like they average a decent amount. Samaje Perine is best average, and he did more with less. Let's just say that. And he got himself 4 catches on 4 targets for 37 yards. Adam Tatum was leading them with five receptions for 34 yards. Not a whole lot to talk about. The spreading of the ball was there. Marvin Mims really probably should have been more involved. We'll probably see him get slowly introduced. We know how wide receivers are. You don't just come straight in as a rookie and make production happen. There's only been a few to do that, and we shall forever remember them as fantasy owners, those that had them. All right, Dolphins and Chargers.
All right,
What
next.
a fucking game! One of the best games probably of the year already. We already had it. Y'all should have listened and watched it. It was a great game. Absolutely fantastic. I can't say much more.
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins.
Miami
Miami
number
Dolphins
one.
#1.
Yes, baby. It's on. The Dolphins. The Dolphins have it. It's this is their year. It's amazing to see Tua just throwing dimes everywhere, and you know what? Completely missed, but on the next play, nail the person 30 yards deep, 40 yards deep, 50 yards deep. Amazing. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
As a Dolphins fan,
that offense is incredible to watch.
the only thing we could ask more is the Fangio defense do something. They did something at the end, but come on. It took you all game. Can we get something going on defense? What do we have to stay and prevent defense the whole dang game so they can rush all over us?
Yeah, I think we need to talk about both defenses because, I mean, Chargers, they pretty much shut Miami down last year. Tua could not figure out that defense. Has he figured it out now, or did that defense take a step back?
Well,
I mean, what's going on?
I think
Is Tua
what
becoming an
happened
elite
is
quarterback?
they took the middle from us away, the middle of the field last year, and Tua said, and this is McDaniel's calling some of the same plays, but it's a little bit different, slightly bit different. They said, okay, you can take away the middle, we're gonna go to the outside, and they did. They hit Tyreek on the outside a few times. Then they started worrying about that. So then they hit him in the center, and they hit him on the outside, and they didn't know what to do, because Tua was so dominant on the inside of the middle of the field, 20, 30 yards deep, that safeties and linebackers had to play completely different in those end of the years and the end of the year last year. When Tua came in, said, "I'm going to take that footage." I don't know what he said or did, but I'm assuming he took that footage and said, "This is how I'm going to beat him this time. I'm going to go to outside." Because they're taking away the middle. And they probably tried to take away the middle in this last game. I didn't get the best footage of that because you get terrible. I hate watching the game sometimes from the camera angles they only give you. They're giving you just the O-line. You don't get to see any of the wide receivers much of the time. So anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And
you're getting focused on the running backs and the quarterback in the pocket and all that stuff. And I'm like, I want to see the routes being ran. I want to see all this. I need to see it. I want to see it. But I don't get to see it. So.
Yeah, because it would have been incredible to watch Tyreek Hill just work. I mean, look at him.
Exactly.
He put up 215 yards, 2 TDs. I'm pretty sure he would have had a third one earlier in the game.
Oh,
It's just,
he beat a guy,
I mean, this
and
guy
Tua
is
couldn't hit him.
unguardable.
He beat a guy a few times, Tua couldn't hit him. He missed him 4 times. Waddle, great. Look at Waddle averaging 19.5, same as Tyreek Hill. The Dolphins have an elite core, and they surrounded that elite core with one of the greatest precision passers in the game, and the fastest running back core in the league. The Chargers, let's talk about their offense. Amazing rush offense. Eckler's going to be missing this next one, so your fantasy owners need to listen. Play Joshua Kelly. I know they're going to be playing a good defense. We're going to talk about that soon. Anyway, averaging 7.3 on the Dolphins is insane, Eckler. On 16 carries, you're a freaking man of mans. I didn't believe in you for many years. I failed myself, fantasy-wise, because I didn't believe in you, because I should have taken you when I had the chances. I'll do so.
I thought he was only a receiving back.
I didn't know. Last year's averages screwed with me. They were just a bad offensive line, period. I think last year. I need to look at it a little bit more. As a lot of you guys know, I'm not much of a. I took some time off of not fantasy football. I took some time off watching games for many years because the Dolphins sucked. That's a whole nother story. But so when I tell you like I didn't get to see Eckler in his prime that much, so I didn't really believe in him. Now I'm actually seeing him, and the dude is the dude. All right, let's move on.
Part-time fan.
Keenan Allen, Eckler, of course, Mike Williams. They're all getting 5 targets or more. Keenan Allen hitting 9. We expect more, boys, out of this passing offense. I get it. The Dolphins are playing a certain way that meant rush. That's fine. Don't expect this every week out of that Chargers offense, though. The Dolphins were playing a specific way. They knew that they wanted to rush the ball. McDaniels asked them to rush the ball more so he could continue lighting them up. All right, on to the next one.
I don't think there's a real weak spot on the Chargers team.
No.
I really think Miami just outplayed them, and I really think that the Chargers are going to start winning a lot of games.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good team. If they go ahead and rush like that against Miami's good defensive line, I mean, damn. And I hope Phillips is back for this week 2 matchup. We'll talk about that in a minute. Eagles and Patriots. We're almost done with the weekly lineup. Let's just go ahead and talk about this one just really quick.
Yeah.
Mac Jones, he is the guy. Kirk, I told you he was going to do great. Everyone else was telling me, oh, he sucks. Oh, he's garbage. I went ahead and sold him to Kirk in our Dynasty League for cheap. A 3rd-round pick or something like that. Oh, I regretted it hard.
Yeah.
He was garbage the first half of the game.
Yeah, I agree. And then he really picked it up. I'm interested in seeing how Kendrick Bourne plays out. And, I'm kind of sick of the Eagles' offense. They need to do something. Like, they did not look good in this Patriots game. Hurts really didn't look that great. Let's go ahead and take a look at these boxes.
Yeah, he looked lost most of the time. I mean, he was scrambling for his life, and that's behind a really good offensive line. So that tells me he was just holding on to the ball way too long.
Yeah, not doing the right precision, not doing the right thought process for the play, and the right check downs, and just getting what you can. When you try to do too much, you can really fail your team. And he seems like a guy that wants to do too much. I feel like that was.
It almost seemed like he wanted to run first and not pass first.
Really, I didn't get to see it like that. I mean, we looking at these wide receivers, 10 targets apiece. He was really trying to target these wide receivers. 20 targets out of his 33 targets. Wow. That's 2/3 of his targets are going to just 2 guys. In a fantasy standpoint, we look at that and say, wow, I want a piece of that.
Yeah, get those guys.
Yeah, I'd probably say so. Those guys are probably going to be doing pretty well, especially if he keeps up with this. If he keeps trying to go deep with these guys or hit them all the time, he's trying to do 2 of things, it could happen. That offensive line.
Hurts will figure it out.
Hurts is a good quarterback. The rushing is there with him too. And we talked about Mac Jones. Mac Jones really stepping it up for his team as that pocket passer he is. 54 attempts, 35 completions, 316 yards, 3 tutties and interceptions, 91 rating. Elliott getting a decent amount of work there. Ramondre Stevenson, did I hear word that he's hurt already? Anybody hear that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I didn't know. Maybe I was just hearing things. All right, and so Kendrick Bourne.
I know Zeke fumbled the ball,
Yeah, that's a big
and
takeaway. But look what they did with Zeke.
that's not good.
Five receptions, 14 yards. They gave him 6 targets. Hunter Henry and Kendrick Bourne are leading the guys out there. Juju Smooshmoo and all the other guys, nothing really that much. Interesting.
Wait,
Parker will
did Zeke fumble the ball twice?
No.
Once on receiving and once rushing?
I mean, that's what it says. I have no idea. If he did that, that's... Ooh. I don't see how Belichick can play him again. I don't see. We'll see.
So, how many games we got left on this week 1?
3. 2.
Okay.
3. Let's run through these real quick. Rams and Seahawks. Matthew Stafford. Looked like Matthew Stafford. Puka Nacua, probably the guy to look at there. Lots of targets. Cam Akers. Decent amount of carries. Not much production at all. Time to get rid of your
rookie stepping it up.
Shares. Geno not looking very good. Ken Walker looking like Ken Walker, but not that great. Not the original.
Did
Ken
not
Walker.
expect this outcome.
Exactly.
But
Rams.
But never count out Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford is trying to show the world that he is that guy that won the Super Bowl not long ago. Just in 2020 or 2021, whenever it was. Cowboys and Giants. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was definitely a defense win because Prescott didn't do shit, I feel like.
That was amazing. Amazing defense showing. My fantasy defense in one of our leagues in the seasonal, no, in the dynasty, is
who had Cowboys. You had Cowboys in dynasty.
Oh, I had them in dynasty, and I whooped someone's ass. It was beautiful.
Who had them in seasonal?
In seasonal, someone drafted them pretty early, and I didn't get them, so I was pretty upset.
Lurch.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Lurch.
the new guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He got auto drafted. It was Jimmy. We lost Jimmy this year. If Jimmy's listening, it was great having you with us, buddy. Too bad life just comes at us and can't keep up with all the stuff going on, and that's how it goes. Maybe another time, and your stats will forever be remembered in our history. And I know you never won the trophy, so you don't have gold plate on the trophy. But we got a new guy. Hopefully he's good. If he's listening, good luck out there. You're in with the big dogs now.
And then Bills and Jets. That was a rough start.
Yeah. Bills and Jets. What the takeaway here is the Jets defense is for real. Josh Allen isn't that guy. Go ahead and look at his stats at the end of the year. Defense has figured him out, all right? And I remember it. Go ahead and take a look at his stats last year. I'll pull them up if you really want me to, but we've taken a lot of your time already. We're trying to get this video under a certain amount of time. Look at his stats last year. Just do it for me. And you'll see at the end of the year, they figured him out, all right? And he's not the Josh Allen everybody thinks he is. He's that other Josh Allen, the one that shows up against the Jets and the Dolphins and all these other ones. He's not that great. But he does put up a lot of fantasy points some weeks, so keep an eye on those too. Stephon Diggs.
Zach Wilson. What about Zach Wilson, man? He's going to save the Jets.
Look at this. Zach Wilson, 140 yards and a tutty. Not too far off of Josh Allen right there. He's got a much better offensive line, though. Dalvin Cook. kind of scaring fantasy owners right now. 2.5 average, and then Brees Hall coming in beast moding it. 10 touches for 127 yards. Is this going to be an offense ran through the two backs that are elite?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Damn, Brees Hall looks like the man. Leroy got him in our redraft while Ben was freaking out about Dalvin Cook being there. And Leroy snatched Brees Hall up for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, now I want some back.
Yeah, he ain't getting it back. I can see the day. It ain't happening. If you stuck with us this long, I appreciate it. And I know you probably heard this a million times, but please like and subscribe. Please join us for some more. Right now, this is Cruz, which is myself, Kirk, which is right up there, and then Leroy with the no video. But we appreciate it, and thank you for listening. And lobe out, baby.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, check you later.